Solidarity and politeness, a due and voice. Politeness strategies in friends have a primary goal of establishing and maintaining good social relationships between fellow members of community. They are determined based on the principles of savoir-vivre, literally translated as the knowledge of living, and savoir-faire, the ability to say or do the right thing in general. Students taking French have difficulty in understanding the use of the pronoun voice and you. This indicates that they do not master the concept of politeness in the language. Many studies have been made on this issue, but none was done among students in Malaysia. In this study conducted among UKM students, questionnaire was distributed to identify the exciting problem and interpret strategies such as the use of the plates and oral raised in role plays were carried out. Implications derived from this study on the teaching and learning of the French language is that teachers are able to identify strategies to address two problems faced by students and to come up with methods that can be used in teaching to facilitate student understanding of the concept. Once the concept is clearly understood, this in turn will allow students to converse French.
How do you name or address another? By title, by first name, by last name, by a nickname, by some combination of this, or by nothing at all. So, deliberately avoiding the problem? What factors govern the choice you make? Is the address process asymmetrical? That is, if I call you Mr. John, do you call me Tia? Or is it symmetrical, so that Mr. Jones leads to Mr. Smith and John to Fred? All kinds of these combinations are possible in English. Dr. Smith, John Smith, Smith, John, Johnny, Doc, Sir, Meg, and so on. Dr. Smith himself may also expect doctor from a patient, dad from his son, John from his brother, dear from his wife, and sir from a police officer who stops him if he drives too fast. And he may be rather surprised if any one of these is substituted from any others. For examples, excuse me dear, can I see your license? From the police officer. The asymmetric use of names and address terms is often a clear indicator of a power differential. School classrooms are almost universally good examples. John and Sally are likely to be children, and Miss or Mr. Smith to be teachers. We can see some of possible dangers in cross-cultural communications when different relationships are expressed through what appears, superficially at least, to be the same address system. The dangers are even greater if you learn the terms in the new address systems, but fail to appreciate how they are related to be one another. So, we can conclude that address, the level of formality, intimacy, difference, equality, and authority with which people address each other. It usually marks such things as status, role, age, gender, social class, ethnic difference, inclusion or exclusion. For examples, mom, sir, and hey you met.
Politeness in sociolinguistic and conversation analysis (CA). Politeness strategies are speech acts that express concern for others and minimize threats to self-esteem faced in particular social contexts. Positive politeness strategies are intended to avoid giving offense by highlighting kindness. These strategies including just posing criticism with compliments, establishing common ground, and using jokes, nicknames, humorous question special discord maker please, and in group jargon and slang. Negative political strategies are intended to avoid giving offense by showing difference. These strategies include questioning, hedging, and persistent disagreement as opinion. Politeness allows people to perform many interpersonally insensitive actions in not threatening or least threatening manner. There are infinite number of ways in which people can be polite by performing an act in a less than optimal manner and bounds and Levinson typology of 5 super strategies is an attempt to capture some of these essential differences. Thomas Howcroft 2002. Example: shut up is rude, even ruder than keep quiet. In the polite version, do you think you would mind keeping quiet? This is, after all, library and other people are trying to concentrate everything in italic is extra. It is there to soften the demand, giving an impersonal reason for the request and avoiding the brutally direct by the taking of trouble. Conventional grammar takes little account of such strategies, even though we are all masters of both making understanding the side that point to what is going on beneath the surface. Sir, the gentleman asked, with a twang in his voice that was unmistakable. Southern would it bother you terribly if I join you? Variable in degrees of politeness. Brown and Levinson list their sociolinguistic variables that speakers employ in choosing the degree of politeness to use and in calculating the amount of threat to their own face. First, the social distance of the speaker and hearer. Second, the relative power of the speaker over the hearer. And third, the absolute ranking of imposition in the particular culture. The greater the social distance between the interlocutors, if they know each other fairly, the more politeness is generally expected. The greater the relative power of hearer over speaker, the more politeness is recommended. The heavier the imposition made on the hearer of the greater the power, the more politeness will generally have to be used. Alan Partington 2006. Speech acts a variety of verbal communication and also a subdivision of pragmatics. Often takes place in verbal and non-verbal communication. Yule 1996 stated that speech acts are study of how the speakers and hearers use language. But 1979 explained that an action in verbal communication has message in itself. So the communication is not only about language but also with action. In conclusion, speech act is the utterance that occurs and act refers to an action. There are certain ambience the word of phrases when the speaker says something. There are 3 types of acts in the speech acts. First, locutionary. The locutionary speech act is roughly equivalent to uttering certain utterance with certain sense and reference, which again is roughly equivalent to meaning in traditional sense. For example, first, it's so dark in this room. 2. The box is heavy. B. Illusionary. The illusionary act is performed via the communicative force of an utterance, such as promising, apologizing, offering. Illusionary act can be the real description of interaction condition. For example, It's so dark in this room, the box is heavy. And C. Politeness. Politeness act is the act that is carried out by a speaker when making an utterance causes in a certain effect on the hand determinate that some particular utterance in particular situation cause. For example, it is so dark in this room, the box is heavy. Classification of speech acts. Speech acts can be classified into 5 categories. First, representative types. 2. Direct types. 3. Commissives. 4. Expressive. And 5. Declaration.
Two, acting and conversing. B. Cooperation and pets. We can view utterance as acts of various kind and the actions of utterance that we call conversation as actions of acts, not just actions of word, although they are these two according to believers such as Christ. We are able to converse with one another because we present common goals in conversation and specific ways of achieving these goals. Grace maintains that offering friendly is conversion is what he called the cooperation principle. Grace lead four maxims that follow from the cooperative principle: quantity, quality, resolution, and manner. The maxim quantity requires you take your contribution as informative as required. The maxim of quality requires you not to say what you believe to be false or that for which you lack adequate advance. Relation is the simple indentured by revelation. Manner requires you to avoid obscurity of expressions and ambiguity and to be brief and orderly. Maxims are involved in all kinds of rational cooperative behavior. Everyday speech often occurs in less than ideal. Kierkegaard's Christ's point of those facts do not always follow the maxim he has described. They may imply something rather different from what they actually say. They may violate or out of one of maxim or two of the maxim we class in a particular instance. When we try apply any set of principles, no matter what kind they are, to show how utterance work squid into what we call conversion, we run into a variety of difficulty. Ordinary casual conversion is possible the most common of all language active. Conversion is a cooperative activity in grace sense when that defines on speakers and listeners. Sharing a set of assumptions about what is happening, if anything, when in conversion nothing will happen. Conversion make use of the cooperative friendship. Speaker and listener of are guided by conversation of quantity, quality, relation, manner, and process of implication, which allow them to figure out relationship between the set and the unset. Conversion is cooperative also in the sense that speaker and listener then to affect each other for weight Their claim to be that is they affect the fates, the order over the fate may vary according to circumstance for its own time. The future offer may be of a close friends, one another accusing a teacher, on a threat accusing a young woman, but its page I will generally expect going escalate its work the word of presenting face to other.
We engage in conversations as learners, as professionals, and in social settings. We build, shape, and grow our knowledge, understandings, and experience through conversations. As lifelong learners, conversation provides us the opportunity to exercise thinking, creativity, and problem solving. One could argue that it comes down to the pillars of literacy for lifelong learning: reading, writing, conversations, and presentations. Conversations is the activity of exchanging talk and talking by one person to another to discuss something important or not even important. Can be done by two or more people in a group or meeting. There are several classifications that can explain a person's English speaking skill as well as understand all components of speaking skill as follows. 1. Structural conversations. This type of conversations is all about grammar. 2. Functional conversations is a conversation listens that is intended to shape a person's ability to function language according to its place and existence. In daily conversations is often faced with something objective. For these conversations, it is used during formal conversations. And last, situational conversations is a conversations lessons that is intended to shape students' ability to recognize special functions in communication based on informal situations. So, one particularly important principle used in conversations is the agency pair.